Welcome to Your TV on Create TV, Comcast Channel 15. Your TV is produced, directed, filmed, and edited by Create TV volunteers and staff. We do the set, the sound, the lighting, and operate the control room, sometimes with a little help from Create TV professional staff. My name is Donna Wallach, tonight's host for Your TV. Our show today is about Haiti. We have Pierre Labossiere and Robert Roth, and they'll be discussing the current situation in Haiti, the electoral fraud, and the popular movement there who is struggling against it. Pierre Labossiere is a community activist and a founding member of the Haiti Action Committee. He is Haitian-born and has been an activist since his teenage years. Haiti Action Committee, based in the Bay Area, is a network of activists who have supported the Haitian struggle for democracy since 1991. Members foster extensive contacts with grassroots movements in Haiti. Haiti Action Committee links journalists who want to hear an alternative viewpoint with sources both in Haiti and the United States. Robert Roth is an educator and activist. He is the co-founder of Haiti Action Committee and serves on the board of the Haiti Emergency Relief Fund. He is also active in the movement to free all political prisoners. Robert has been a teacher in the San Francisco Unified School District for the past 28 years and is now the Social Studies Chair at Mission High School. Robert has been to Haiti 6 times, the last time in June of 2015. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming all the way.
Thank you very much.
So let's get started. Pierre, please give us a brief history of Haiti and growing up there.
Yes, Haiti is the name we pronounce it in Creole and in French as Haiti, and Haiti that was the original name way back when the Arawaks and the Taínos inhabited the island. Christopher Columbus invaded the island in 1492 and started a genocidal war in his search for gold. There was plenty of gold there, so and the population ended up being killed by wars and decimated by disease, and so that within the space of about 50 years, almost the entire 1.5 million people who were estimated to live there were completely decimated. 1503, the first Africans who had been kidnapped and enslaved were brought in to start working in the gold. And so, but from the time of their kidnapping, they started resisting. They continued to resist. So the island became divided in 1693 between the French and the Spanish, because the French pirates started moving in on the western third, which is present-day Haiti. And in 1791, the French had really introduced the big plantation agriculture, and Haiti was quite a wealth-producing, gigantic factory that never ceased to produce. At that time, it was called Saint-Domingue. And that took a toll on the enslaved Africans. And their life expectancy was barely 10 years, you see. So it was a terrible thing. 1791, there was a huge uprising, and led by Boukman Doty and a woman, Cécile Fatima. And after a 13-year war against the French, the troops of Napoleon, he had sent them to Haiti. They were soundly defeated, and Haiti became an independent nation in 1804.
That's awesome.
And my growing up there, I left Haiti when I was 14 years old. I grew up during the period of the dictatorship of Papa Doc Duvalier. And I know later on we'll be talking about elections. And so during that time, Papa Doc was put in power through fraudulent elections. I mean, he was handpicked to win, but then the elections were just window dressing to show there had been elections. And people who protested against it were massacred, people were disappeared, and that led to, there was a 30-year roughly reign of first Papa Doc, who died in 1971 from 57 to 1971. Then his son took over as president for life. So it was like a dynasty. And Papa Doc and his son was finally overthrown in 1986. But that fraudulent election was with the full support of the United States, France, and a number of countries who call themselves democracies. And living there at that time, it was just terrible living under dictatorship. I mean, I remember the fear from my parents and neighbors because you didn't know when they would be coming to arrest you. And you could be arrested on any flimsy denunciation. So, and that's how I grew up. Finally, we left in 1970 and I came to the US.
Wow. So, Robert, please discuss the history of U.S. invasions of Haiti and the two most recent coups.
Well, I mean, as Pierre said, the U.S. has been involved in suppressing Haiti almost from the very beginning of Haitian independence. The U.S. was one of the powers that was completely threatened by the victory of enslaved Haitians, because the U.S. was a slave-owning power, and refused to recognize Haiti until the 1860s, and was part of embargoing Haiti and attempting to starve it from its very beginning. And in 1915, the U.S. invaded Haiti and occupied it until 1934. And if you look at that period of time in U.S. and colonial history, it was a period when the United States was also invading and occupying countries throughout the hemisphere. It was also the time of Sandino in Nicaragua, Farabundo Martí in El Salvador, and this is also the time where you have the great peasant uprisings in Haiti led by Charlemagne Péralte. And the U.S. was determined in its occupation to smash any movement of the poor in Haiti. And as part of its occupation, it set up the Haitian military and it laid the foundation for the Duvalier dictatorships that Pierre is talking about. In the late 1980s, after Duvalier was overthrown, finally, by the people of Haiti, a movement called Lavalas emerged. And that brought into power President Aristide, who was elected democratically in the first democratic election in Haiti's history. And he came to power in 1991. He was elected in 1990 and then came into office in 1991. And on September 30th of 1991, just months into his administration, the U.S. orchestrated his overthrow in a brutal coup that ended up killing thousands of Haitians. Estimates range from 5,000 to 8,000 Haitians killed in that coup, and death squads roamed Haiti in the same way that they roamed El Salvador in that period. And if you look at that period of time, it was the same period of time as the U.S. had been attempting to crush the revolution in El Salvador. And they were moving against Haiti because they saw the same kind of popular movement existing in Haiti. When Aristide was then reelected again in 2000, there was another coup in 2004, on February 29th of 2004, that again overthrew not just Aristide, but also replaced 8,000 elected officials in Haiti and led to a brutal UN occupation. And the coup was led by the US, France, and Canada, who once again were determined to not allow the Lavalas movement, which I know Pierre will talk more about, to exercise any kind of power in Haiti. And at the time that President Aristide was overthrown in 2004, the Lavalas government had built more schools in Haiti than had been built in the entire history of Haiti. It had increased the literacy rate enormously. It had built health clinics in rural areas that had never seen a doctor before. And it was implementing a progressive platform that was supported by the majority of Haiti's poor, by the masses of Haitians, who still support Lavalas today because of the experience that they had with the Aristide government and with Lavalas in power, in practice.
Wow.
So there's 2 coups
Mm-hmm.
against Aristide whenever he was elected by the people of Haiti.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, when he finally made it to South Africa, because at first he and his family were sent to the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I understand
They were sent to the Central African Republic.
Central African Republic.
Right.
He was finally able to get to South Africa with his family. The South African government allowed him in, and then the United States was putting tons of pressure on Haiti not to let him back in. It took what, 7 years?
7
right?
years. That's right.
Yeah.
And it took a movement, like both within Haiti, the consistent demands of the people of Haiti, like never forgetting
Mm-hmm.
that their president had been kidnapped. They called it a modern day kidnapping,
Mm-hmm.
equivalent to what had happened to Saint Louverture in the Haitian Revolution when France had kidnapped
Mm-hmm.
him, and also to a movement all around the world and in the U.S. demanding his return. And both Pierre and I were there when President Aristide did return and was greeted by thousands and thousands of people, in this incredibly joyous celebration, which was just an amazing moment, I think, in both of our lives.
Oh, I'm sure.
To be there and to witness what it meant to see the spirit of the people overcome, the power of the U.S. and France and all of the country and Canada, all of these countries that were determined to deny Haiti, its sovereignty. And Aristide's return was a affirmation of Haiti's self-determination and sovereignty.
Yeah, and it was very clear that the 2 elections where he was elected, that they were definitely Democratic. He was definitely democratically elected by something like, what, 94% of the people?
The first time it was 67% of the vote, first round, in a field of 11 candidates. Very well financed. There was a lot of the other fellow, Marc Bazin, was running. He had received a lot of money. He was a former official in the IMF. And his role was to impose neoliberal policies. So there was a lot of investment in him. And the Haitian people, poor Haitians, came out in droves and voted massively, overwhelmingly for President Aristide. The second time as well, people were there was a lot of threat, many threats, and actually there were bombings. Bombs were placed, a number of people were killed, and still the people would not let that deter them, and they showed up to vote, just like in the recent election. And this time, 90% or 92% of the electorate voted for him, and there was a 65% turnout.
Wow.
Which the OAS, by the way, tried to lie and said that it was only 5% turnout, but mainly we had organized election observers, monitors, and they countered the lies that the OAS was pushing out there, and also the Bush administration, saying that it was only a 5% turnout, when the turnout was higher than 65%.
So the Fund Me Lavalas movement is a very popular movement in Haiti. So it's not like here in the United States, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and it's all this stuff. But the Fund Me Lavalas, it's a grassroots popular movement, correct?
Yes, and actually Fund Me Lavalas is a political party which came out of the grassroots movement that's referred to as Lavalas. So most people in Haiti, most of the electorate identifies with the Fund Me Lavalas political party, because as Robert described earlier, because of what they had accomplished, because of what they had done. So the people saw it wasn't pretty words, it was action. And it was a people's agenda that was being implemented. The political program is called Investir dans l'humain, which means investing in people. And that's a book that they put out. And the book wasn't something that was written by somebody. It was the input from everywhere in the country, all the poor communities, We went in 2000. Robert and I, we were part of a delegation. And so we were in places that were very remote, rural areas. And we told people, we were asking them about the book. They said, and many of them couldn't read or write. They said, oh, yeah, we know about that book. We had a lot to do with it. It was our input that's how that book was written. So we were blown away by this, you know.
That's so awesome that people who are illiterate still were given the opportunity to give their input for such an important book.
Oh, yes.
Lavalas is a movement of the Haitian people. It's not an elite party. It doesn't come from the top. It comes from the grassroots. And it means flash flood.
Wow.
A flash flood of the people, that when the people are united and move together, that they're as powerful as a flood, and that they can, sweep through anything. And that's what it means in Haiti. And, so if you think of Lavalas, please don't think of the Democratic Party. Don't think of the Republican Party. And it's,
that's for sure.
that this is like an example of popular democracy in action. Yeah. And it always has been. And that's why these two coups that took place against Aristide were not just coups against Aristide, they were coups against the people of Haiti. Yeah. And it's also why they haven't succeeded. Because in this over 25 years now of this movement, it always springs back. And like you come to Haiti and there's been incredible repression. There's been thousands of people imprisoned, right? People in exile or killed. And then Lavalas still is there.
So let's talk more about this and adding in the UN forces who were supposed to be peacekeepers, right? But in Haiti, they're occupiers, correct?
Yeah, well, it's a military occupation. We just had a delegation, including a member of Haiti Action Committee, was just in Haiti, and they were meeting with someone from the U.S. Embassy who referred to MINUSTA, the UN forces there, as a military operation. And that's always what it's been. And in 2004, the US and France and Canada turned over the dirty work to the United Nations to keep the lid on Haiti. And the US was busy in Iraq, and it was busy and it turned to, who did it turn to? It turned to Brazil. It turned to Chile. It turned to Argentina. It turned to all of these countries, a lot in Latin America, to take over Haiti and to maintain the exclusion of Lavalas from any political activity. And it's only been in the recent, in this past year that Lavalas has been able to even run in an election. So over all of these years of UN occupation, the UN occupation has been there to aid the elite, to allow the US and Canada and France to take over the country, to allow a dictatorial regime to sell off the resources of Haiti to multinational corporations, and to prevent popular organizations and a popular grassroots movement from participating in elections. So no, it's not a peacekeeping force.
And please tell also about how, because of the UN occupiers, because of them, the cholera outbreak in Haiti.
Well, maybe you could
talk about that, the part about the UN as well, the UN occupation, it became necessary to have this military force come in, because when President Aristide had returned after the first coup in 1995, the Haitian people demanded that the Haitian military had to be disbanded. They said, look, these people are thugs, they are brutes, they are assassins, all they do is kill us. 40% of the national budget was going to them. And they were of no good to anybody in the country. So President Aristide disbanded the military, the Haitian army. And from those monies that were saved, that money was put to building schools and hospitals, all the institutions that Robert fought to help the people. And also the headquarters, the equivalent of the Pentagon in Haiti, was decommissioned and turned over to the women's movement, creating the Ministry for Women's Affairs, something that would help people. And The UN occupation forces, they are nothing but the armies from the School of the Americas. They were trained at the School of the Americas, now known as WINSEC. And their job was to do the dirty work that the Haitian military used to do. And one of the things that you mentioned, in addition to the over 10,000 people who were killed during the coup of 2004, and many of them by the UN conducted a number of massacres in areas like Cité Soleil and a number of other places. At least 4 or 5 where a number of people were killed. But they also killed other people too. Close to 10,000 people, maybe more, have been killed by the cholera epidemic that you mentioned. What happened? The UN forces, they were there, they were taking care of their needs. And in Haiti's river, which is one of the main rivers in Haiti that provides drinking water for people. So everybody downstream, their waste were being dumped into the river. And everybody downstream was getting sick. And the people were saying that this is where it's coming from. So 3 weeks from the time that this group from Nepal, and Nepal had this raging cholera epidemic at the time. So the UN didn't even put in place basic sanitary practices that they should do, regardless of cholera or what have you. And it ended up contaminating so many people. And every once in a while, it's flaring up in Haiti. We didn't have cholera in Haiti for a good more than 150 years or so.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have less than 10 minutes left, so I know that you really wanted to discuss the current situation regarding the electoral fraud. So let's talk a little bit about Michel Martelly, Dr. Maurice Narcisse, the electoral fraud, and how the State Department and the Clintons have really impacted this whole electoral fraud that's going on currently in Haiti.
Okay, well, the biggest issue right now is that over the last year, Haitians have been by the tens of thousands in the streets demanding free and fair elections. And there were 2 elections held, like these are legislative presidential elections. One was on August 9th of this past year, and the other was on August 9th and October 25th. Both of them were filled with fraud. The first one, total violence at the polls. The second one, completely fraudulent, right? There's been investigations, there's been verification of the fraud, et cetera. The results of these elections have been that a protege of Martelly, the man you mentioned, who's been a dictator in Haiti for the past 5 years, was selected basically by the US and, in fact, personally by Hillary Clinton, who went to Haiti in 2010 to make sure that Martelly was in the runoff. He's a Duvalierist. He's a supporter of the Duvalier regimes that Pierre was talking about. So this man has ruled Haiti for the last 5 years. According to these fraudulent elections, one of his supporters, one of his proteges, who nobody even knew in Haiti before this election, came in first. And another person who was connected to the Proval government from before supposedly came in second, and supposedly Lavalas came in fourth. These were total fake elections, completely fraudulent, exactly like elections here, right? If you remember the Gore-Bush election, completely stolen elections. But people in Haiti didn't allow it to stand. And that's what's amazing, right? Is that every day in the streets, they said, we will not have this runoff election of these 2 fraudulent candidates. And they blocked it. And they forced the end of the Martelly government. They forced an interim president, a new government to be named, and they're demanding a full investigation of the election before any runoff will happen. The US is saying go ahead with the runoff and putting constant pressure on Haiti to hold these elections with these 2, runoff candidates that were the products of a false and fraudulent election. And that's the big issue now.
And but still, every day the people, masses of people are out in the streets.
That's correct.
In several areas, not just in one area.
That's correct. People have been taking to the streets, as Robert mentioned, and they are saying no more. And in Swahili, Haiti means do not obey. So this is the rallying call now. People are saying we will not obey. And this is from a speech by President Aristide. And he said we are not supposed to obey crooked officials. We are not supposed to bow down to injustice.
Yes.
And so people have taken that, and this is the rallying cry that we are not going to obey. And people are demanding. So there is a big awareness, an upsurge in Haiti, in people's consciousness, because people are paying their taxes.
Mm-hmm.
People are doing, and the government exists to provide services for people.
Yeah.
But what we are seeing is that these folks are just ripping off the money, not providing services, and acting as if they are doing people a favor for living, for being alive, basically.
Yeah.
And the conditions of the working men and women in Haiti is horrible. You know, just as an example, gas, a gallon of gas costs $4 in Haiti. What people get paid for a 10-hour workday, between 8 and 10 hours, is $3.20.
For the whole day.
For the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Conditions are horrible, you see? And you don't hear that typically in the press, you see?
Yeah.
And so these are the things that the Haitian people are saying, enough, enough.
And you mentioned Maryse Narcisse.
Yeah, we have 1 minute left.
And she is the candidate of Famille Lavalas. And if elected, she will be the first elected woman president of Haiti. And she's a longtime Lavalas activist, and she's been in the streets with the people, and that's who the people have been rallying to defend and support.
So to get more information about all this information about Haiti, go to www.haitisolidarity.net, and we will have that up on the screen. So thank you very, very much for doing the show this evening.
Thank you.
We've run out of time. So thank you for watching Your TV on Create TV. Please watch us next week, Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. on Comcast Channel 15 or online at www.createtvsj.org. Thank you. You guys did a great job. Thank you.